Yep. Oh, wait. I'm I'm not getting your audio from Facebook. now.
How about now? Do you have my audio now?
It'll it'll take a sec for it to
Yeah, I know. Hopefully
cycle
you hear
through.
something from me now. We're gonna wait for
Let's
audio.
see.
Uh, audio check.
Yeah, I gotta wait for that lag
Oh,
through the
I know.
Facebook.
It's a few minutes, or it's at least a minute a lag, probably,
Uh,
which is sad.
Less than that, maybe 20, 30 seconds. But
Hopefully. Anything?
all right, I hear myself asking about it. Oh, there we go.
Cool, okay.
Your
Awesome.
audio
So,
now.
sorry,
Okay.
hello and welcome. This is Cookies Enabled.
Welcome again.
Sorry
I don't know
about the
exactly
audio
what the guys,
issues. But
but
yes, so what I am showing you here is the SN10 launch, which again we always usually start with the SpaceX launches and how well they are doing. So this happened a couple weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago. This launch happened. So we're just kind of recapping this, and we're talking about the SN11, which is getting ready to launch, and they do have that all set up. I was going to try to get an image of that on here, but they have a couple of live feeds, kind of recovering all of this and going over what they've changed for the SN11. So, Jaeger, I will let you take away and probably explain a lot more about the SN11 because I don't know what they've changed between the different models and stuff, if at all, because I know sometimes they don't. So, who knows? Yes, hello. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh, yeah.
few weeks of
Yep.
laying low, and that didn't quite stay the same as
No.
3 weeks. It's been a crazy year. I hope everybody's now. I hope everything's going well. It looks like we got a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel now, so
I hope
that's
so.
good.
I'm hoping.
Again, that's going to be a beefy episode or two when we start talking
Whew.
about the pandemic. It's going to be fun.
Oh,
But
yeah.
today, yes, we're talking about SpaceX at the beginning, SN11. They've done a few I think at least one static fire so far, just getting those tests out of the way. They have made, I think, a few changes. They're modifying their heat shields,
Right.
which is there's some images out there. We'll try to post some later. They use a hexagonal heat shield.
Really?
There's just ceramic tiles on certain parts, not on the entire thing right now. I
Okay.
think at some point, once it becomes an orbital rocket,
Right, right.
it'll have a shield. But right now, they're really protecting the
Okay.
sensitive areas of the rocket. Um, the reason hexagon tiles, it tends to break up the areas where any of that heat can dissipate. It can't just go in a straight line
Right.
or push through into the rocket itself and damage it.
Sure.
It kind of direct, it directs it in certain areas so it dissipates
Sure.
more quickly. So they're working on that. They're definitely making some either modifications or better testing on the landing legs.
Okay.
That's what caused the issue last time. A few of the legs would just dangle there, so they're doing
Those
tests on
darn
those.
legs.
They're probably going to have a new landing leg design at some point, but it's
Okay.
hard to manufacture and
Right,
designed that
right.
quickly. So they're working on it. Hey,
Yeah.
they stuck the landing. That's all that matters. This one
Yep.
I think will do better. Um, is they're starting to stack the booster at the facility right now.
Oh,
Now,
interesting.
remember what we've been watching is the Starship itself.
Right.
That's the star. That's like the capsule on top of the rocket.
Right,
That's
right.
There are only three engines on it. It's not designed to go into orbit. Right
Hmm.
now, they're just doing very low altitude tests,
Okay.
more of a proof of concept. For it
Right.
to go orbital, for it to carry the payloads that it's going to need to, it needs a booster rocket, just
Right.
like anything else, like the Falcon 9.
Right.
And this booster rocket, it's almost, I think it's almost as tall as the rocket itself, if not, I think it's taller.
Wow.
So imagine what you're watching
Right.
double
Jeez.
in height. And that taking off. It, I
Eek.
can tell they're aiming for um, this summer to have an
Okay.
orbital flight. So
Huh.
the booster is it's just I mean it's a big firecracker basically, you
Right.
know. So I don't think there will have to be as much testing with that. Definitely with the engines, but
Sure.
all the technology, the electronics, the computers, they're in the Starship. There will be redundant computers in the booster, but if
Oh yeah.
they can get this to stick the landing, the booster's kind of much easier. So keep an
Cool.
eye out for that. We'll share some photos. I'll put some up on our Twitter and the Facebook. And you can see this. You're talking uh, 30 to, I think it's 30, 40
Yeah.
something feet in diameter. It's
Yeah.
massive. This is, I mean, if you've ever been to uh, Cedar
Right.
Point or somewhere like that, and you
Yep. Oh yeah. I yeah. That's just crazy. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Right. Exactly. Why not? Just yeah.
uh,
Just for kicks and
you
giggles.
mind design changes. It's made
Right.
major changes from I think 2016 when they announced where at that point they were calling the BFR the big and
Yes. Oh, I imagine. Oh yeah. Right. Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
this point to our hardware
Yeah.
that we're using. We can talk to you like this, but adding in a separate channel with video really puts a lot of encoding lag on Will machine.
It's so
Um,
old. I'm sorry,
you
everyone.
can try to stream a live video. We've
Yeah.
got a lot of older equipment. Our internet speeds are perfectly fine,
Oh
but
yeah,
it's
that's
the
not the
hard
problem. No.
graphics
And
acceleration.
I may be improving us with an RTMP server soon, which would allow us to stream to multiple services simultaneously. Because I have plenty of hardware lying around. If you haven't noticed in the background here, I got graphic cards and motherboards and CPUs and all kinds of stuff, just cluttered everywhere. And they're all working units. Like everything you see, I can plug in and will work. I take really good care of my stuff. It might be decades old, but it still runs. That's a Radeon graphic card right back here next to my Xbox One, which is ironic because it has one in it. So I mean, it's kind of funny. But all in all, that's what I'm hoping to progress us to. Right now, we can really only choose one or the other. We started on YouTube. We didn't have a huge group following, so we moved more to the Facebook side of things, mainly because we were getting really well received, it seemed. I know we have quite a bit of followers and more comments on Facebook. So really, we're kind of sticking with both. We do upload everything to YouTube as well, and that is our backbone pretty much to everything. So, but we are mainly kind of sharing the space between Facebook and YouTube right now.
Yeah, if you get that server running to share, I mean, it's nice to go live. I know we've got my niece, she doesn't have Facebook, so she can't watch us live, but she's always excited.
Right.
Every Wednesday she'll come. It's Wednesdays, and she'll watch it in the afternoon when we get it uploaded. But so if we can stream to multiple, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch would probably
Twitch would be another one. Yeah.
So we're looking into it.
Definitely.
We can go live on Instagram. We can do a lot at the same time. Because at that point, I think that's going to come down to just our network capabilities.
Absolutely.
It's probably going to chew up some cycles on your PC a bit, but...
Oh, yeah. I'm sure I burned out a few sectors of a RAM cycle or something over here. I mean, I'm running on about 8-year-old hardware, but I built this machine to last at least 5 years and still be considered top of the line. So that's why it's still able to keep up. I mean, it's definitely not new hardware by any means necessary, which is one reason why I'm barely pushing the 30 frames a second right now, but I am making it.
I saw a fun image a few days ago someone had shared on Facebook of one of the old Pentium 3 E machines.
Oh my gosh.
And it had the sticker on there. It's like, this machine will never this machine will never be obsolete. The whole you can upgrade new things. Obsolation free or obsolete proof.
Why?
It really wasn't.
Why would you even claim such a thing? I've never claimed that any of my computers I will never need to upgrade ever again. That doesn't make any sense.
It was a marketing ploy, and I think at that time a lot of people didn't think. I mean,
well, okay, there was a lot of new CPUs coming out all the time too.
You'd go to a computer store and they'd tell you, this got an 8 megabyte hard drive. You're never going to need more storage. Right. But they didn't think about the fact that 2 years later, things would change so much.
Drastic changes.
My first digital camera I ever used was one of those Sony Mavicas that you'd put the floppy disk in the side.
Yes, I had a teacher with one of
those. And
those.
You could maybe fit 12 pictures on a floppy disk. Now, I would need a stack of them
just for one photo.
Image.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But, I mean, most of your public and a lot of the companies, I mean, if you ask them what Moore's law was, they would have no idea.
No idea.
That don't know, it's the idea that I think roughly every 18 months or so,
at least, give or take,
the storage capacity and processing power doubles, and the price halves.
Yes.
So you see that. It just keeps almost exponentially climbing in what we're capable of. So, I mean, 2 years ago, 4K was a pipe dream.
Right, it really was. And streaming it was that'll never happen, Now you can get 8K streamed on some devices and whatnot. TVs. Yeah. So
most things stream in 8K yet, but you can get one.
You can. I don't know if anything does. I mean, there might be something on probably for HTC's Vive or something that does a crazy 8K up resolution.
A lot of your high-end, really high-end RED cameras,
yes, RED camera,
the Phantom, Phantom high-speed cameras, they will record such high resolutions.
Yep.
When you get to those, the Phantoms that record. What is it, very high speed?
Oh, yeah, ultra speed,
you only have about a minute
thousands of frames.
Because, I mean, it's trying to process all of the, you're talking tens of thousands of frames per second.
I mean, wow.
And the bottleneck of getting that into the RAM and then stored onto the SD cards or whatever storage you're using, that's where we're...
Yeah.
I mean, high-speed footage is incredible, but you can't record a half an hour of high-speed footage.
Right, no, you just can't. It doesn't work that way. But in it kind of in the similar topic, we'll change gears here. And Intel has recently left Apple, or I guess you could say Apple kicked out Intel and said, we're done with you. We're not making any more computers with your processors anymore. We're going to start making our own processors and CPUs and stuff, which is great news for you Apple fans, and kind of scary news for everyone else, especially in the PC realm, because this is essentially another competitor coming into the PC processor market. And yes, Apple is not a PC. I do understand the difference, but it functions exactly the same way. It just has an Apple logo and uses a slightly different version of software. We're talking Unix versus Windows, DOS versions, so very different, but very much the same. So obviously, we're talking like, Toyota versus Dodge. They're both cars. They both do the same thing. This is really what's happening here. Now we have Apple pretty much saying, hey, we don't need your help anymore, Intel. We can do this better than you. And so Intel's like, haha, touche. No, you can't. And so they actually kind of took a page out of Apple's book with advertising and decided, why don't we play a fun game called Do You Remember? The advertisement of I'm a PC and I'm a Mac, and so they stole the guy from the commercial. His name is Justin. You see him here in the advertisement I'm going to put up here for you. He is now advertising PCs, and all of them have Intel hardware, which you can't get on your Mac anymore. So this is kind of like a huge slap in the face for Apple. But at the same time, it's nothing new for everyone else in the PC realm. We have always been able to put an Intel or AMD processor in our computer, really no matter what we were doing. Here's another Intel.
Hello, I'm Justin, just a real person doing a real comparison between Mac and PC. Come on.
Okay, PC.
Intel is really going to
Oh, cool, this whole thing's a touchscreen. And there's another one too, wow.
All right, and now for Mac. Let's see.
Oh, you've got a little bar here, little baby one.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Oh, where's the mute button?
Here's what I found on how to cook mutton.
Oh, no, I don't want to cook
So
mutton.
this is exactly what I love, because things that are supposed to be helping us and making our lives easier, like Siri, like Cortana, which was Microsoft's version of Siri, completely sometimes just fail and on massive whole systems. And now Intel's like, you know what, we can do it better. We're the hardware guys. We've been building your processors pretty much since day one, next to IBM, really. So, you just got to either live with us or, just good luck doing it better yourself. Now, not to say that Apple's M1 processor is bad. It's actually really, really well done. I got to say, I've looked at the architecture. It's pretty amazing. But
Did you mean to play the audio on that?
no, I'm sorry. Was the audio playing? Crap. I'm so sorry. Well,
I can hear you faintly in the background, and all of a sudden, what's funny though is right when I was thinking I shouldn't hear the audio on this ad, I heard him in the commercial go, "Where's the mute button?"
Exactly. He's trying to
So
mute
that
Siri.
perfectly. But what I like seeing these commercials, they're doing it the right way in comparison between Apple and these PCs.
Yes.
They're comparing products that are similar and they're in the same sort of demographics market.
right.
Like they're geared towards the same thing. Because a while back, Microsoft had their ad where they were trying to compare the Surface tablet to a MacBook Pro, and those are completely different products. Like, I get what you're doing,
But it's just not the same thing.
You can't compare a MacBook Pro, which is designed for something completely different than a Surface Pro tablet.
Right.
If you wanted to, you'd have to go between that and the iPad, which there you make some good, distinctions. But that one just annoyed me because it's like it's false. It's a false comparison.
Really a massive false comparison. Absolutely.
But this one, it seems like they're comparing more of the capabilities.
Yes.
Like you said, Siri, Cortana, the AI.
Yep. Having a touch
I'd
keyboard
love to
versus
see a MacBook Pro with reversible screen.
Oh my gosh! Yes, please, Apple, please.
Yoga screen they call it because it bends.
Yep.
That could be interesting.
Yes, and I think this has been a long time coming for Apple. I really know they've got something up their sleeve. Probably like an iPad that can become a MacBook, and I know they've tried to do this with like the iPad Pro, which they also make fun of in these commercials. There is another one I couldn't find it in time for our show today, but it is on YouTube, and it shows him again. He's got this yoga tablet. Look, it's a tablet now. It's a computer now. It's a tablet, and then they hand him the MacBook Pro, and then they hand him the iPad Pro and the iPad Pro stand, and then the stylus and the dongle, and he's like trying to hold everything, and he's like, oh my gosh, So, and this is the problem. This is exactly what got PCs in trouble way back in the early thousands. I don't know if anybody remembers Dell and Lenovo. Everybody had you had your laptop, you had your desktop, you had your dongle to connect everything. You had like 6 screens and cables everywhere, and it's just a nightmare. You spent thousands of dollars on it, and then literally 2 or 3 years later, it's completely obsolete. They want you to completely upgrade all of these dongles and cables, and people just gave up on it. They just said, screw it, we're done. We're not doing this anymore. And sales plummeted on this stuff. So I'm stunned to see Apple trying to kind of do this. But again, they're also trying to play markets of both the PC realm, the worker realm, the coder, the game developer, so they're playing the really a ton of cards right now, and I think they're doing most of them really, really well, especially when you're looking at their mobile markets are amazing. I mean, you got the Apple Watch, Apple Pay, all that stuff with your iPhone just flows fantastic. And I just really feel like their whole Mac series has kind of been left behind, unfortunately. Maybe because they're trying to improve with their own processors, and they just focused on that instead of design. In fact, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Well, I think they focused more on the mobile market, the iPad, the phones,
right,
which works. But I want to see more from the computer end.
Absolutely.
I remember last week I put together the $50-something thousand Mac Pro.
Right. Yes.
On the site, which that's fun.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'd like to see more. The one issue I have with all of these, you said yoga format PCs though, and the one thing, I had a Surface Pro for a while.
Okay.
It was like the version 3.
Okay.
Until the screen got cracked.
Ooh.
Over time.
Ouch.
Well, when we were staying up north, I didn't use it much, and we had only a basic setup in the basement because we were just hunkering down.
Right.
I used that as my mouse pad by our bed.
Oh.
It was a nice mouse pad surface. At some point, somebody or a dog stepped on it, and the next time I tried to use it, it was cracked. But I like having the detachable keyboard, so I could just use it as a tablet. I don't like that if you flip that laptop, if I'm holding it on my lap, the keys are exposed. Yep. They're right there.
Yeah.
It can get dirty. It can get dirty easily.
Yeah.
The feel is weird.
Yeah.
I like the detachable keyboard versus a
foldable
one
keyboard. Yeah, I am also in that boat. I always prefer. I have the original Dell Venue 11. Not version 2 or anything. It's in the other room. You probably saw it in a few other episodes sitting in the background, just showing screensavers and stuff. It still works. I love that thing, and that does have a detachable, felt keyboard kind of thing. And it had a big metal one you could get that had a battery and extra USBs and stuff. But the one I got, it just was the regular felt one, and that thing still works. It's really finicky, and I absolutely hate using it now. Mainly because it's been bent up so many times in backpacks and all kinds of bags and stuff over the years that if you push a key too hard, it does A 6 times or whatever, Yep. And so it's a little finicky, but the tablet itself is a powerhouse. And the reason why I bought that one is because you could actually fully remove the battery. So for whatever reason, if my battery dies, I don't have to get a whole new tablet. I can just rip this old one out, go get a new one, and slap a new one in. Poof, done. Now it's working again. And that was why I liked that one. So it was easy to fix, essentially.
My first laptop that I ever had, I don't even remember who it was built by. It might have been a Tandy, like I mentioned before. but it was a brick. It was a good 2 inch thick. It ran Windows 3.1.
Oh.
It had like i386 processor in there probably. I mean, it was a dinosaur.
Yeah, ouch.
But the whole thing was on the side of the screen portion of it. It had two little tabs you could pop. You could lift the screen off, and it just had a little connector, like a hard connection, and you could flip it 180, clip it back in, fold it, and you could use an old type of style. It was. I need to find
that.
This,
yeah, please, if you can, because that sounds amazing.
Shit. It's so weird, but I mean, these are the days where you'd have, you had a floppy drive on the side. You even had, it was a PCI something. They made those little flat cards that you could slide.
The PCI expansion slot. Like just PCI probably 10X or something. If we're talking that old, it probably wasn't anything Express.
I'm gonna have to, but they were just these little cards, about yay big, and on the end that would stick out, you could plug in. Was it RJ45?
Yes, exactly.
No,
or MIDI connectors. I'm pretty sure it was like MIDI stuff, right?
A phone. You plug in a phone cable. It was a tiny modem that you'd have to plug into it. It was so weird, so ancient.
Oh man, I haven't seen one of those since I was like in high school learning computer stuff. They had the old school, 6-part modem that you had to put together.
Yeah, it was a long acronym. It was PCI something. PCI SA. I don't
something
remember.
That was forgotten very quickly, probably.
Yeah, I mean they stuck around for a little while. They even had some where you could hook in USB later on. So,
so not totally out of date.
For the time, it was good when they couldn't build all of these ports and connectors into the laptop. You just had the standard PCI expansion slot.
Right.
But I don't know.
Okay, well, to spin off onto our next topic, which is kind of on computer-related stuff, you brought this topic up to me, which was the deep fake AI issues that have been floating around the web lately. Apparently there's a soccer mom that has or something like that. I'm sorry, I'll let you take that story away because I just don't know it enough.
Well, I mean, deepfakes have been around for a while.
Yeah.
The technology has been really progressing over the years. You've seen it, just people playing around at home. They've used it in Hollywood many times.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the same. It's similar technology to how they recreated. I think you had Paul Walker in one of the Fast and Furious, where they had him in after he had died. Yep. They used old footage and mapped it onto a different. You had Princess Leia. In which one was it? Princess Leia in Rogue One.
Yeah. Yep.
You had Tarkin in the same one. Recently, you had Luke in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian.
So you're seeing this technology. It's been around, but it's becoming more accessible for a lot of people. If you've got a good system, if you know enough about, about 3D modeling and working with video, you can do a pretty convincing deepfake. For a quick explanation, basically you have an actor, similar build, similar shape, face, acting as this person you want to deepfake, and it uses like AI machine learning, and you just feed it as many photos or video clips of this actor, whoever you want to model, and it starts to pick up on different proportions of the person's face, different aspects. They might have a mole in one spot or a certain beard whisker that sticks out. And the more photos you feed it, the better quality it's going to be able to reproduce that person's face onto someone else.
I'm showing the deepfake video that you sent
You've seen a lot. These are Tom Cruise from TikTok. Someone has worked with this. Corridor Digital is one of my favorite studios. And their YouTube channel. They did a Tom Cruise one. They've done multiple. They made their own version of Luke from The Mandalorian, which honestly looked better than what Disney Plus had.
Right.
I'm sorry, Disney Plus. That was no, that was that Disney Plus or was that CBS?
That was Disney Plus. Yeah, that's Disney Plus. Yep. No, you're good. That's a confusing one.
It looked great, but these guys, honestly, I think they made it look a little bit better. It's really touchy software to make work and to really get it looking 100% real.
Right.
Some of these look incredible.
Right.
If you don't really pay attention, it's him.
Yep.
It's not until you blow it up to 4K, really look at it, you can start to tell the face kind of shifts.
Yeah, it's not like fully. There's like a little outline or something. Yeah.
It recently came to light. One of the issues at the beginning was we've always thought of if you have photos or video,
right,
that's proof of something.
But it's not anymore.
And now it can be used to make someone say something that they never did.
Yep.
And we're running into this now. The story was apparently the mother of a cheerleader posted deep fakes of one of the other cheerleaders drinking, vaping, reportedly nude photos to get them kicked off the team.
Jeez.
And I watched this last night and I saw the video and it didn't look like a deep fake.
No.
The one thing is it's very low quality video. The image that you see it's poor lighting, so it's very like red tinted, very blurry. That can help with the deep fake so that you don't have to worry about the best quality modeling or rendering with that. But we're seeing, as we've talked with before, all of this technology can be used for great things, but that can also be used for very
Bean one. I'm sorry. This is how it could be used for good with Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
And trying to just have fun. And you can see how well this one is done. You almost can't even tell that this isn't Mr. Bean, but in the other one, you could easily see that it's not Tom Cruise. And so that's what we're talking about here.
Well, it means that people can use it to try to discredit others. When I watched this, I'm thinking, no way did this woman do this deep at home.
Right. No way.
From what I've read, and this is the allegations, we don't have all the facts yet, but apparently in the investigation, the phone number that these messages and videos were sent from was traced back to a company that spoofs numbers for telemarketers. So the woman's already hiring, she's outsourcing and trying to hide her tracks.
Right.
And so most likely she paid some other company to make this deepfake, some company that has the computing power, has the people that know how to do this.
Exactly. This isn't something you can do in your garage with your tablet. Like, this isn't something, it's not an app you download.
A lot of people doing this on TikTok, the Corridor Digital, they're working with high-end
absolutely
3D modeling. This is their life. They know what they're doing. So it just highlights another risk that you see with any technology, how it can be used to really damage someone. And I look forward to what this investigation is going to bring up.
Right.
I mean, obviously, if this is a deep fake, she should be, charged with that.
Definitely, she should be charged.
To teenager's life.
Right.
At the same time, it could come out that no, it's not a deep fake. It was real, and it was an excuse. We just don't know yet. But with the deepfake technology, I can't just look at that video and say, yep, that's fake, or nope, that's real.
Right.
It's getting borderline indistinguishable, which is it can be a problem.
And that's why I wanted to show that Mr. Bean one, because it's very much like, if you didn't know that was originally, you'd almost believe that was Mr. Bean. So
I wouldn't put it past Rowan Atkinson to do something like that.
I wouldn't either.
He's
amazing.
He's one of my favorite comedians I think I've ever seen. Everybody loves him. Nobody hates Rowan Atkinson. And if you have no soul. I'm sorry.
I mean, we know I've won.
If anybody gets a chance, check out, just Google or go on YouTube and search Rowan Atkinson Olympics.
Yep.
And it's one of my favorite clips of him he's acting as his character, Mr. Bean,
Yep.
in the Olympics opening ceremony, and it really shows his physical humor, his facial expressions. He doesn't have to say a single word.
And you're just dying.
And you love it.
Oh.
You love every moment. So no, I've seen some pretty fun deep fakes. It's incredible what they're capable of doing.
It really is.
But now that it's becoming more accessible, we're starting to see that people can. I mean, you do that. You post a video of someone saying something on YouTube or on TikTok,
right.
And now, by the time it comes out that they didn't, the damage is
already
been
too
done.
late, and now you don't have any ability to go in and try and take
most
it
people
down.
will,
yeah.
after you explain it and say no, it was fake. This is not what I said. Most people will go, oh, okay. But there's going to be a few of those people
right.
that are going to latch on and say, no, you're making excuses now.
And let me say that the internet was never, ever built to be used as a revenge tool. If anything, it was used as an information portal. And for people to be using it as a revenge tool, I think should be considered a felony at the highest. I mean, we're talking like, that's like, might as well be breaking and entry and, stealing and, just forging, what is it when you steal someone's identity kind of situation. So
I mean, you're getting into defamation.
Yes, yes. That's exactly it.
I think it's treated as such.
I would hope so.
The thing is, the internet and technology is it's improving and changing faster than the laws for it can. Sometimes it seems.
Maybe that's a good thing.
So we really have to catch up. Really have to catch up to that. You can do things on a computer that we don't have laws for.
Right, right.
So again, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that.
Digital law and everything. We've got some work to do on that.
Yeah.
But
yep.
I'm hoping that at the very least, some of these stories we're seeing are going to bring this more to the public light, so that more people are aware.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know that was something that could happen.
No, I don't think a lot of people know that this is even a threat by a neighbor or a friend or anything. Like, I don't think people even know this is even something that's out there, And so that's the really scary thing, I think, is that you don't know this could even happen, but someone else might, and then they can use this against you. So this is, it takes a ton of money and time to even try and do this. And again, you'd have to have some huge kind of payout. I don't understand how you'd win by doing this to someone else. Like, what are you getting out of this by putting someone else in a crappier situation?
Like you said, it's revenge. I don't think it's, at that point, it's not about winning or losing. It's about just getting back at someone.
Exactly.
And that's
a shame.
No matter what, that's not the right way to go.
No, it is not. Now, on a totally different topic, I know we have mentioned this in the past, but I don't think we have actually ever talked about it. We are probably going to be doing a full episode on this, and I'm going to really butcher this name, and you're probably going to laugh at me a lot. But it's...
I'll correct.
Yeah, it's the Antikythera Mechanism. You
were close.
Antikythera. Okay, I was so close. I
think that's the consensus on the pronunciation. It's the mechanism. It's named after the, I believe it's the Greek island where it was found.
Correct.
The island of Antikythera. So anybody out there who speaks Greek,
help.
Let us know if I'm pronouncing it right. I have one friend that does. So let me know, Carol, if I said that right.
So here is an image of one of the of the machine, kind of versus how we found it. So they're showing, and this is just a diagram here. So you've got the back plate, the front plate, front cover, back cover. So there was a lot of different layers to this, but you can tell it's mostly like a giant box, lots of metal gears and spinners on it. So nobody really knew what this was for the longest time. I'm going to switch it and put this video on here for you guys so you can watch this. This will show a little more of how they discovered what was in it. You can actually see the gears in this. video as well, and how coralized it was from just being fossilized under the ground for so many years and years and centuries.
Underwater, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was underwater. So algae and stuff probably growing on it, but now we officially know what this is. So they've officially figured it out. Now that we've spent a bunch of time x-raying it and scanning it and breaking it down and really looking at all the intricate parts, we actually have machines that do this exact same thing. And this is actually the coolest kind of, they call it a computer, and I don't like to call it that because it's not really a computer necessarily.
Well, it pretty much was. I mean, we started calling
it's more of a simulator
electronics computers because originally it was a bunch of people calculating out things on their own. They were computers. They were computing information.
True.
So this,
showing you where they found it.
It really wasn't a computer. No. It wasn't trying to solve
exactly. I couldn't give it information and have it output a solution.
It was a clock.
Yeah.
It was a timekeeping device, basically. It just kept. I mean,
showed the moon's rotation,
for a while,
Earth,
but it wasn't until they were able to actually use the proper scanning technology to find the specific pieces, model them in a computer environment, and watch these parts move. It was, I mean, you can see the actual thing on display. Yeah. I forget which museum it's in, but it's there. It's in a bunch of different pieces, but you scan it, you model it in 3D, and you
go from there.
Move a piece, see how the gears work.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, the marvel of what they were able to do at that point.
I mean, this is amazing. This is revolutionary.
1,000 years before anything else popped
Absolutely.
up.
I mean, anything mechanical. There was nothing. We have never found something this old and mechanical in fashion like this. I mean, it was literally, if I'm not mistaken, you would wind it up kind of like an old toy, and it would kind of just show you the cycle essentially of the planets and the solar system and whatnot, which was really cool. When we have stuff like this in museums and stuff, I mean, I remember seeing this as a kid. The video is showing you how they put it all together, and it shows the rotation and whatnot on the front panel and the covers and stuff.
I feel like with that, it had to have been used primarily for keeping track of the seasons, for farming, for
I would agree as well.
When we harvest, it just it's a pretty cool device.
It is a really
I know
cool
when
device.
we first discovered it, you started getting a few of the conspiracy theories saying, "Oh, it must have been aliens because we never had this back then," or how did this happen?
No, this was definitely humans. If we could build it now, there's a good chance that we have been able to do this before. Again, because history likes to repeat itself. So I've always been a big believer that, we might find technology buried underground that could explain a society that was way more mechanical and way more electrical than we would like to admit, probably. Just saying. That's just one of my theories.
Right? Gears moving in a certain speed and, affecting other gears. Mm-hmm. People always say they claim that the pyramids had to have been built by aliens because we can't build them now. We could build them now, but the time frame, how long it took,
and the amount of money.
Like, if we wanted to spend a few thousand years and all of the manpower, we could build the pyramids.
But we don't need to.
Definitely could, but it's time frame and funding. That's it. That's all that it would take. Time frame, funding, manpower. If we know how to do it, we could do it. It's as simple as that. So, I mean, no aliens, no conspiracies.
No, this was just good old-fashioned.
It's not. This was human ingenuity.
It really was. I really want to say this was probably the start of the first clock, like, essentially. It's on a broad scale.
Outside of a sundial sort of
exactly.
thing.
This is like, I can wind this up and it's going to show me like lunar alignments for certain times of the year and certain times of whatever, or so this was really, really important for, like you said, for farmers, and which is a huge deal back then because it's pretty much all you're doing. There was a huge amount of farming and agriculture and whatnot. There was a great society of thinkers too, as now as we can tell. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more lost technology out there like this that I'm really hoping we will find more of very soon. Just because this is really a huge deal. I mean, for us to go back as far as I think it's 2 AD as when this thing was a fully functioning machine. That's over, 2,000 some years.
Well, interesting. Like you can still make these things.
Oh, yeah.
I forget where she got it from, but for Christmas, my sister got me a gift, and it's basically a mechanical geared camera.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right here.
Yeah, that's very similar.
Be able to see.
This is very similar.
But you just spin the dials, and it shows you which day. Yep. So, like, this is your monthly calendar, and you just set it for which sort of year. It's really fun. You put it together. It's got layers. You can see a similarity between this and what you've been watching on the screen.
Absolutely.
So
huge comparison.
If I tear this apart, it's gears that are just, they're designed
as you turn one, it's turning something else, and it's rotating something else, and this all works together. And so this I really should have put in the history of computers video, because again, it's not a computer, but it is the beginning of mechanisms, clocks, time, the theories of math, science, electricity, all of that stuff. It's pretty much coming from this. And this had to have been a huge deal. I mean, I'm surprised we've only found one, is the other thing. I feel like that's even more rare, but its age, I think, is the biggest issue. Plus, they found this underwater, which is even more rare. So I mean, we really need to get into our oceans, people. Let's dive in there and figure out what the heck's under these oceans. I mean, we actually know more about our own moon and solar system than we do about our own oceans, and that is a problem. Okay, should not be that way. It doesn't make any sense.
It's easier to explore. It's easier to explore.
You know what, Andrew? Don't throw your logic at me. Okay, that's not fair.
That's what our channel's about, so I'm going to do
How
that.
dare you?
Again, it's actually very similar to how we only have found a certain amount of, of fossils of dinosaur skeletons. Yep. It has to be just the perfect conditions for them to have been preserved as such. Yeah. Most of the time, they're broken down by other animals or natural processes. Right. So there probably were more, but we're not going to find it. They might be buried under a bunch of lava that from a volcano somewhere, or just lost forever. Right. The water was too salty or acidic. It could have eaten them away over the centuries. It could be inside a reef. Right. We only find them once in a while because it has to be the perfect conditions to keep something preserved for so many thousands of years.
That is true.
It's great that we found it.
It's not like it was made out of stainless steel or nothing. That would have been a find.
Did they say what it was made from? I
thought they said it was some kind of iron or steel. Like a heavy metal that could easily last that long with very little corrosion, especially completely submerged underwater. It needs more oxygen than it does water to rust, So if it's completely submerged, there's no water, or there's no air. I mean, there is, but it's different molecules. We're talking different structures.
Then then it depends on the salinity of the water too. Is that going to corrode?
Is it too acidic? To not,
so maybe it's a metal. I mean, I'm sure the answers are out there. I mean, we know.
That's why this is going to be its own episode, and that's why I didn't include it in the history of computers, because why would I go all the way to 2 AD and then jump all the way to like 19...
You touched on it.
I did. I talked about it, and I did. We are going to do an episode on that. There's a couple other mechanisms as well that were huge deals. Huge, monumental. And we will definitely be talking about those in future main episodes. The other thing I wanted to mention in today's What's New Wednesday is that there is a new fusion drive that has been officially constructed, apparently. And it can get us 8% the speed of light. This is blowing my mind. I watched a little video on it last night, and they literally... I'm sorry?
Say that one more time.
Yeah, I'm like really struggling because I can't find the stuff at the moment, and so I don't want to bog my PC down trying to pull up all the information. But it is a fusion light speed drive that you would attach to a spacecraft that would allow you to go up to 8% the speed of light, essentially.
8%.
8%.
Okay. I mean
this is a feasible task. Okay, 8% is way faster than any rocket we have right now, and would just deafen the science behind traveling to other planets. I mean, you could get to Mars and back in like a week. It wouldn't take any time at all. Poof, I'm there. So this is huge technology. I found one video. It was extremely detailed and very hard to explain, but essentially it used deuterium, if I remember correctly, and it used lasers to bring the deuterium to an extremely... You can't hear me at all?
I said everything uses deuterium.
Oh, I know.
It seems like...
I know. Yeah, so the deuterium gets lasers...
Well, it's hydrogen with an extra electron, I think.
Yeah,
is all.
yeah. It just already has that extra electron, so they're zapping it with these highly excited lasers to bring the deuterium to an almostly overexcited state where it becomes a whole new form of matter. And I forget what it is called. It's like Raka matter or Raka matter. I can't remember. It's somebody's name. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm screwing that up. Again, I just learned this last night. So I'm even surprised I can even regurgitate this at all. So again, this machine can be attached. It looks like kind of like this weird, almost like a portal gun. If you ever played the video game Portal, it kind of looks like that. Only with this weird meshed net cone on the end of it, which is where this trail of, I guess, neutrons comes out. I don't know if it's actually neutrons. Something is actually coming out of this that is actually able to warp you. But I don't really know how this is going to work in... Are you just going to be 0 to 8% the speed of light? Or is it gradual? Or like, how is this? I mean, there was that whole part was very mysterious, and they didn't explain much at all. It also did not talk about the warp bubble that is necessary for warp travel, which is critical because we've yet to even create a warp bubble, but yet it isn't necessary for space travel. So we really got to figure out some of these things.
That energy production.
Yeah.
I mean, the theory behind creating, warping a bubble of space is pretty solid. It's
very
doable,
solid, very doable.
But you need tons of energy for these sort of things. Yep. You can get something probably pretty, up to 8% speed of light, I'm sure. But it comes down to how long is it going to take to accelerate that fast? And what sort of fuel?
It was a hydrogen slushy fuel that it took, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that means. Need to be a ton of energy, the flamey end, to get you up to a speed.
Yeah.
And with our current technology, the energy required, we can't do it.
Yeah. But anyway, so we'll be talking about that in future episodes. I have way more information to dive into. The video was amazing. The guy literally shows you the in and out of the engine, all the components to it. I mean, everything's patented, so you can't steal anything at this point. But, I mean, this is more than theoretical. This is definitely a practical machine they can probably put on a spacecraft in the next maybe 10 years easily. I mean, this is not unfeasible technology. And they even claimed that it might even be able to go faster than 8% the speed of light. Their theories and everything on paper said it can definitely achieve 8% and probably do more. They're just not trying to push it to the max right out the box. Why would you do that with the only warp drive that we actually have? If you even want to call it a warp drive, because it's not really warping space. No. That's why I don't like to call it a warp drive. And it's kind of a fusion drive, because it does use... I'm sorry, fission. It's a fission drive, not fusion. Fission. We're taking two things, smashing them together, and creating something else, not separating. Sorry, I screwed that up. That was my bad.
Okay. That
fission.
By the way, while you were talking, I found it. The Antikythera Mechanism was made of bronze.
Bronze. I was thinking brass,
So,
but that's not right.
I was thinking bronze.
Okay.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It's a heavy metal.
A lot more than iron. It would have lasted longer.
Way longer.
So,
but cool.
Especially in the condition where they found it. So,
anyway,
there you go, everybody.
I'm happy that I think we had a couple viewers jump in and out. I didn't see any comments pop up today. I know we've had Michael Jackson commenting on a few of our videos. I just want to say thank you for that, Michael. We love seeing your shiny face. I know you're no longer around anymore, but I appreciate whatever feedback. I know you wanted us to talk about moonwalks. I love the moonwalk, and I guess the U.S. is trying to go back to the moon.
I'll look into that. We could do something like that.
Yes, moonwalk stuff. Probably our next Wednesday episode. I'll definitely try to find more information about really what we're trying to do, because I know China's on the moon, Russia's trying to go to the moon. I think Israel or something was trying to go to the... Everybody's trying to go to the moon again. I don't know why. It's like a moon race all of a sudden. I'm like, we already did this. I'm like, the heck, people? We don't need to go to the moon. There's nothing there. There's no atmosphere. It's very low gravity. It's just a lot of frozen ice rock crap. Why do we need to go there? I don't know.
I can explain why. I'll do that next week.
How dare you? Anyway, so we will dive into all of that next week, guys. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, please leave us the comments. Let us know if you want us to cover another topic in a next Wednesday or in a main episode, maybe. Like, I definitely want to do another deep fake episode, probably going more into the AI and the software and really the horsepower needed to do that kind of stuff. And really explain the technical side behind it, as well as like machine learning and things as well, because that's all very new to a lot of people. I know you've probably been hearing that pop up on like NBC and CBS nightly news or whatever. Machine learning, or I don't know how they're framing it these days, but it's usually not considered a good thing, and this is stupid. So we'll cover all of that in future episodes. Today we wanted to have a little bit of fun and just jump around, kind of poke some fun at Apple and Intel, and just explain some of the cool things that happen with the SN launches. But if you guys have any other topics you want us to hit us on, definitely let us know in the comments. We appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and we will talk to you guys all later. Have a great one, everybody. Okay.